These are rums, right? Bold, funky, born from sugar cane, you know, the base of anything from daiquiris and mai tais to your punches, to your Queen Spark Swizzles, your mojitos, you name it, we flipping love our rums. However, this is not rum. Even though it derives from molasses, those molasses are from sugar beet, so it can't legally be called rum. Remember, rum comes from sugar cane. But could it, or rather should it, still play a part in your rum cocktails? The makers of this certainly think so, but let's put it to the test. So in this series of videos, that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be making various different rum cocktails, but I'm going to be subbing in this sugar beet spirit drink to see how well it does actually work. I have my own little criteria for these kind of things, and it's like, do I like the drink is the first question, would I finish the drink is the second question, and the third question is, would I actually order it again? And I think that one there is the crucial part to any drink that we make. So to kick this series off, I'm going to start with the Dark and Stormy. Very, very basic, but I am, you know me, I am going to be giving that a slight little twist. Now, before we go any further, this video is sponsored by my good self. To help you on your cocktail journey, I've got a free PDF ebook where I show you how to riff up 10 of my favorite cocktails. All 10 of those I was quite happy to put on any single cocktail menu. And secondly, I've also created my bartender playbook, something that I wish I had when I first started bartending some 30 years ago. It's full of even more recipes, guides, brand knowledge, courses, you name it, I'm updating it every single week. So to get involved in both of those, there'll be a link in the description, a link in the pinned comment, or you can scan that QR code that's on screen right now. Now, this product has featured on this channel before. In fact, I did maybe a live stream about this 2-3 years ago. This is Alchemy. They are very, very local to me. And as I've just said at the top of this video, it is derived from sugar beet. Now, you might be thinking, what is the relevance of sugar beet? Why am I on this sugar beet thing? Now, firstly, I love the guys. They are brilliant. And what they are doing is absolutely incredible. But secondly, we're in this world now where some bars go on about sustainability, but other people like provenance, especially if it's local provenance. Now, rum, we know here in the UK, we cannot grow sugar cane. It is impossible, except for like the likes of the Eden project down in Cornwall that have sort of got that, but they've got very specific, you know, or experiments going on for that. You couldn't just grow sugar cane out where we are in any other part of the world. Obviously, Cornwall is the best, so Cornwall is giving it a go, but anywhere else, no. However, sugar beet, especially around me in East Anglia, I've literally got 1, 2, probably 3 sugar beet fields within 200-300 yards of where I am right this second. Sugar beet grows all around me. And then to top that off, we've got sugar beet factories dotted. There's quite a few vary around the UK, but actually my region, we've got 3, if not 4 sugar beet factories. And the closest one to me is literally less than a 30-minute drive. So the whole provenance thing for me, for this, these guys are literally within 2 miles of the sugar beet factory in Bury St Edmunds. So, bearing in mind there are sugar beet factories, sugar beet fields right there near the factory, you could actually have food miles of less than less than 2 food miles to make this product. And I'm kind of excited by that. In fact, I'm going to put it out there that this might be the lowest food mile spirit in the UK. Yes, we do grow wheat and, you know, vodkas and whiskies and all that sort of thing here. But even then, I think they're really going to struggle with the food miles of a sugar beet spirit. Now, the one thing I do remember saying in that previous video is that various people have tried distilling sugar beet, and I've tasted a few of those. Adnams actually tried it at one point. And Adnams are an East Anglian brewery and distillery, not a million miles away from me here, but even they couldn't perfect the art. So when I found out that these guys, Alchemy, had perfected that, That's where my excitement came. I love people that are right on my doorstep that I can interact with, and these guys certainly are. Now, a couple of things have happened since that previous video. And if you're thinking this is an inferior product, then let me share this with you, because they entered this into various different spirit awards. One of them was the Rum and Cachaça Masters, where this scored a 93 out of 100. The other one was the IWSC, which is the International Wines and Spirits Council, I think it is. And it scored a gold medal. Now, I have to add, these are judged by rum experts, and it is blind tasting. And I have it on good authority that actually when it was revealed what the product was, there was a little bit of friction, because obviously this was entered as into the rum category and it's not rum. However, they judged it on the basis it was rum, and it got a gold medal and 93 out of 100. You cannot argue with that. Now, the other thing that's happened is that the guys have launched a spiced variant. I present you Alchemy Spiced Gold. Now, you know, I've been chatting to various British scratch rum distillers here in the UK over the past few years. I've got now narrowed it down to my core group that I speak to, you know, frequently, I would say, and there's the rest that I'm just, you know, haven't really bothered with, because at the end of the day, if you are producing proper rums, it is a very, very niche market, and it is not my market. My market is bars, pubs, selling volume in cocktails, in mixed drinks. And to that, you kind of have to go down the spiced route or flavoured route or something like that. There is too much competition for proper rums, whereas spiced rums, they are your volume. Now, I know that this is going to loosely slip as spiced rum throughout this whole series of videos, but the thing I want to point about this, and why I'm really excited about this, is because I often talk about sugar contents, and I often talk about real spices when I look at this sort of stuff. And this ticks both boxes. This has got less than 1% sugar in there. Now, to compare this to the likes of Bamboo, for example, and other spiced rums, we often talk about them having upwards of 30, 40, 50 grams of sugar per litre. You can tell now that this is dramatically less than that. This is, as far as I'm concerned, one of the better, and there's a few that I will kind of put that in spiced rum world, but there isn't many that go down this route of proper spices and little to no sugar. But the spices, which are semi-secret, I know a couple of them, but I don't know the full extent, they won't tell me, and they're keeping that a secret. The spices are proper spices. No flavour compounds, no anything like that. As far as they're concerned, these are two proper sugar beet spirit products done properly. The other thing I want to point out as well is that these, you know, the colour of these, let's get that round, so both labels, the break and the labels are there. You would be instantly forgiven, because you know we don't really age rums. There isn't many distilleries that are properly aging rums there, but they are kind of brown. This is what I'm really excited about by these guys, because these guys are aging, but they have used modern technology to do this. So it's not colouring as such. Every brand uses, like E150A, a slight bit of caramel colouring, but they adhere to that as well. You know, we're talking less than 1% in there. This has all come, and I can't even begin to explain it, but newfangled aging techniques, and it's just, you know, that's how it's created. It's not a ton of caramel. This is not a white rum with tons and tons of caramel in there. This has actually been, I can't even call it rapid. Well, I suppose I could call it rapidly aged, but, you know, these guys are setting new trends. So perhaps here in the UK, it is time we actually adopted our own. I love rum. I will always love rum. But surely there's a place for a local sugar beet spirit. Bearing in mind, sugar beet is one of our national crops. Surely there's got to be room to adopt these guys. Anyway, as I said, in this series, I'm going to be putting these as a replacement into proper out-and-out rum cocktails. to match my criteria. Do I like it? Would I finish the drink? Would I order it again? Should it make your cocktail menus? This series started off with me just focusing on that. But actually, I'm going to do both serves. I'm going to put these sort of head to head in that respect. But you know, we've got their normal sugar beet spirit. They're spiced. Either or, let's find out. So the simple riff that I talked about in this, as you might see behind me, now Fever Tree have got involved in this channel. And it's like, look, Fever Tree, I do love Fever Tree. I'm not a massive fan of their tonics. Whenever I've done like gin tastings and stuff like that, and we're going back a few years now, actually, Fever Tree tonics would never score that highly. They would, in blind tastings, they would never come out. But I've always been a big fan of their sodas and their gingers, especially the spiced orange ginger ale. I think that has been phenomenal. It did take me a while to get used to the refreshingly light range. I prefer the full fat versions, but I'm there now. I've got a little bit older. I flipping love them. So thank you very much for Fever Tree for getting involved. The riff on the Dark and Stormy I'm going to do, instead of ginger beer, I'm going to use this spiced orange ginger ale to see if these work. So I'm going to do these medium strength. I've got the spiced gold in that side, and then we'll go for the OG Alchemy. I don't know what to call it. Alchemy Sugar Beet Spirit. I'm just going to call it the OG. We're just going to go for the OG in here. This stuff is, honestly, it's so good. I mean, the spiced gold is right up my street, but both of these there. Now, I'm not going to add lime to these. I've got, if I need it, I've got a secret ingredient that you will, that won't be so secret in a second, that will come out to play. And I'll be talking a lot about it in future videos. But I just kind of want to do basics. It's basic drinks where these are going to come to the fore. Because I know at home, interestingly, when they talk about these rum and Coke, they literally, it's like equal measures of Coke. It's just a splash of Coke. They're not about long drinks. But I know in a pub setting, bar setting, you are on about long drinks. So hence why I'm doing this. There we go. Oh, might be able to get, oh, he's opened a second bottle. That's a shame, isn't it? Stuff. We'll top these up in a second. And then glasses, if you like these, my other channel partner, this is they're from Artist. This is the Cheers Highball range. All of this available from Drink Stuff. Anything not boozy on this channel is available for Drink Stuff, hence why I use it. So is it right and wrong with Dark and Stormies? Like, should you be using ginger beer over ginger ale? I don't think there is. You know, don't let anyone really tell you that there is. It's, I know Goslings have trademarked it and it's ginger beer, but you know what? In this day and age, call it something different. If you want to use ginger ale, I love both. Sometimes I like, I'll be honest, I think I actually prefer these days ginger beer on its own to drink and ginger ale mixed. But look, there's no right or wrong. I just want to try the orange notes. I think the orange is adept in the summer as it is in the winter. Spiced orange, you know, you kind of get those feelings that it should be a winter drink. I don't think it is. It's light, it's refreshing, it's fantastic. Right, the OG Alchemy. Oh, that is really good. Hang on, I give you my judgment after the spiced. Oh, okay. Which way am I leading? oh wow. Oh, hello, bear with. Oh, they are both really good drinks. So, the spiced gold, I can't lie, the spiced gold does edge it for me slightly on there. I think a ginger beer is going to work with the OG better. If I'm being honest, I just think a bit rounded flavour and a bit bolshy sort of ginger beer mixer, I think is going to be your better option with that. Ginger ale, not so much. Still a great drink, sevens. You know, 7s out of 10. It's by no means like a poor drink. But there is something about this because it's a lighter spirit, if you say, because it hasn't got that boldness in flavour, the character in there. But because you've got the other, this is fan-flipping-tastic. Oh, so now, yes, obviously you could add fresh lime to this. I don't really have limes. I don't even use limes for cocktail masterclasses these days. I haven't had a lime in this bar now for 6 months, possibly. I don't even use them in mojitos. We do it slightly differently. So when it comes to highballs, yes, you could use lime juice. Of course you can. But I'm one of these believers that if you use a lime juice, you should really kind of shake the cocktail to bring that citrus to life. So I've restocked Super Sour. Super Sour will come out to play a little bit on this channel in highballs. There's lots of highballs coming, and I think this is just a great sort of cheat code for highballs because you don't need to shake it. You can literally just add 5ml, 10ml. Sometimes you might want to go 20ml, but I very, very much doubt it. It's long life, it's shelf stable. You just keep it on the bar even after opening. And it's just this magical thing that just kind of balances any highball should you want a little bit of citrus. So we are going to just do it. And then just to demonstrate, I'm actually going to go, because I don't think I want it in that, to be fair, but I'm going to try it in the OG. I'm just going to add 5ml to this. See what that tastes like. You can up it to 10ml. You can always add more. You can never take away, if you know what I mean. So that's made a dramatic difference. Now I've got that citrusy kick, which you could mimic with a couple of wedges of lime. That's really, really good. Wow. I'll be truthful. I wasn't expecting that. All right, humour me. Humour me for 2 seconds here. I don't think I really want it in the Spice Gold, but we shall go for it. We shall try anything in there. Super Sour really is, it's not even an English brand, it's a Belgian brand. You get it all across Europe. Super, it's been around 5, 6, 7 years, 8 years, probably longer than that. Some of you are going to absolutely prefer that. Some of you not. I'm going to go on a hunch that just mass market, just the Spice Gold and ginger ale, no limes. But the OG definitely works with a touch of citrus in there. That's really, really tasty. So the criteria. Do I like them? Yes. Would I finish the drink? Yes, both of these. Would I then order it again? Without the citrus, no. Without the citrus, yes. With the citrus, yes. With the citrus, no. As mad as that sounds. Really, really good, but I massively preferred that without the citrus. So that's been the first one in this series. Fever Tree's Spiced Orange Ginger Ale. Pretty much a given that it's going to work with ginger beer and it's going to work with just a plain ginger ale. Let me know what your thoughts. Let me know what your thoughts in general about Sugar Beet Spirit. And as a proud British person, someone from the UK, would you get behind something that's very, very local with ultra low food miles? Let me know your thoughts on that. And I'll see you in the next one of this series where I'm taking on, I've called it the Suffolk Swizzle, but a Queen's Park Swizzle.